If you are new to this series, we have been going through every single national title claim in college football history for the FBS or highest level at the time it was claimed. At this time, we have covered all of the one-time and two-time champions, and are moving on to the threes and beyond. Please go back and watch those for me after this if you enjoy this sort of thing. From here, some teams will still be lumped together and some will get their own depending on how much of an argument I feel is needed. So, let's get chronic. Prior to the college football playoffs and BCS national title game, we relied only on the polls to determine the college football national champion, with some formulas and short-lived systems in between attempting to better things. The polling system failed many times, with as many as 4 to 6 teams in contention that never even played each other. This often resulted in many split national championship years. Prior to 1965, some polls voted on their national champions before the bowl games were even played, and then saw their champion lose their final game. If you go back a little further, the first attempt to straighten things out came in 1936 with the creation of the AP poll, and was often the most respected poll for many years. But even then, the early media had their biases and favorites due to what they were familiar with. If all the writers and voters only saw Notre Dame or Yale, they would have no way to compare it to what was going on down south or out west, and usually just sided with what they knew. Prior to the AP, we had a wild, lawless 67 years of college football where many or no teams called themselves national champions, and a lot of those teams didn't even claim national titles in this era until more modern polls went back and retroactively named them national champions. Are you confused yet? You should be. While the AP poll is often the benchmark for a champion from 1936 to 1998, I would still argue that point. If the AP named you champion and nobody else did, that smells a bit fishy. Personally, I tend to side with what a majority of the polls say. So if the AP says you are the champ, but 11 others don't, I look deeper into the situation. And that's just me. You are free to do or think whatever you like.
Jerry, just remember, it's not a lie if you believe it.
And of course, I view any titles won through the playoffs or BCS title game as automatically 100% legit from the start of the video, even if you disagree with the selection committee. And yes, I have also disagreed with them plenty of times. On the flip side, any that claim a separate title outside of those official parameters I view as complete bullshit, whether the selection committee screwed said team or not. History is history, and I respect that fact, even if I dislike that fact. For the purposes of this channel, I'm only going by what the school actually claims. I will do a series covering unclaimed titles later on. I have added a layer to my tiers and now broken them down into 5 sections. 100% legit, debatable but fair, I see your argument but no, complete bullshit, and introducing 1941 Alabama, which will be reserved for the most imaginary or dumb claims that exist. LSU has been quite successful in my lifetime, and most of these championships occurred in it. The Bayou Bengals have had some success in nearly every decade of its existence, but really broke through as a consistent contender in the early 2000s and have had its ups and downs since then. They will randomly go from 9-4 to a national title and back down again. But hey, there's something to be admired for never completely falling off like, say, Nebraska. No offense to the Huskers, just a great example. So, let's heat up the jambalaya and get out our Cajun subtitles and translations and check out these 4 seasons. Let's get chronic. Before Coach Saban and Coach Miles, we have to start this whole thing in 1958. LSU began the season unranked but quickly got up to number 15 by their second game. From there, the team disposed of Alabama, Hardin-Simmons, Miami, Kentucky, and Florida to set up a huge matchup with number 6 ranked and undefeated Ole Miss on November 1st, now with the Tigers ranked number 1. LSU was victorious 14-0 and went on to beat down Duke, survive Mississippi State, and crush Tulane to finish the regular season 10-0. Still ranked number 1, of course, the Tigers outlasted number 12 Clemson 7-0 in the Sugar Bowl to remain perfect and finish number 1 across the board, being named consensus national champions. If you haven't seen the Auburn video that started this entire series, you may have forgotten that they went back to claim this one when they added a bunch of claims in 2025. Their claim was absolute bullshit and have nobody backing the claim. For more context, go check out that video. Iowa also claims this title, and well, they tied a game and lost a game. More on Iowa when we get to their video. 1958 is 100% legit. Kind of an easy call given the 1950s weren't always clear-cut. Now we begin the present day era. Enter Nick Saban, an already seasoned assistant coach in college and the NFL, but with no overly amazing accomplishments yet outside a shared MAC championship at Toledo. In his fourth season at LSU, and now with an SEC championship back in 2001, LSU entered 2003 at number 14. The Tigers started 5-0 with a 17-10 win over number 7 Georgia along the way to rise to number 6. Then, they were stunned by a 3-3 Florida Gators team. They would not lose again. Key wins in that stretch included number 17 Auburn 31-7, number 15 Ole Miss 17-14, and a rematch win 34-13 over number 5 Georgia in the SEC championship game. Now, this next part is controversial, though not really for LSU. Ranked number 2, LSU were selected for the BCS title game. Number 1 Oklahoma was of course chosen as their opponent. Only problem is, Oklahoma had just lost the Big 12 title game to number 12 Kansas State 35-7 and were ranked number 3 in both of the other polls. USC was number 1 in those polls. The BCS reasoning, according to what I'm reading, is that Oklahoma's schedule strength was ranked 11th to LSU's 29th and USC all the way down at 37th. As such, although the timing of Oklahoma's loss affected the human voters, the computers kept Oklahoma at number 1 in the BCS poll. Now before I go on, some in the comments on previous videos have apparently been waiting for this moment, and for me to weigh in, so here it is. As you heard in my intro, I will accept the results of the BCS title game even though they got the game wrong on numerous occasions and I disagreed with them often and cheered for their demise when it happened. However, I view this not much different than a political election. Hear me out. Just because someone disagrees with a president being elected for whatever reason, one candidate won the popular vote but not the electoral, allegations of cheating the system, or any of number of other reasons, whatever. At the end of it all, you have to accept whoever it was won, and it is part of a historical fact, even if there was perceived injustice in getting to that point. The BCS got this wrong. I am here to 100% agree with that. But the BCS, flawed as it was commonly accepted as the governing body to determine the national champion at that time. LSU won that game over Oklahoma 21-14 and are 100% legit national champions for the 2003 season. That ramble went on, and we will revisit it and ramble further when the USC video is posted, and I will go even deeper and compare the two teams in that one. 2007 was the wildest season of college football possibly ever, and for sure was in more recent times. At times, it didn't look like LSU would even sniff the title game. Expectations were high entering the season at number 2. A strong 6-0 start followed with key wins over number 9 Virginia Tech 48-7, number 12 South Carolina 28-16, and number 9 Florida 28-24. The following game, the Tigers were upset 43-37 in triple overtime at number 17 Kentucky. LSU dropped only to number 4 and bounced back, beating the new number 17 Auburn 30-24 and yet again the new number 17 Alabama 41-34 before losing again in triple overtime to unranked Arkansas 50-48 in the regular season finale. The second loss dropped them down to number 7 with only the SEC title game remaining and virtually no shot at the national title game. The Tigers took care of number 14 Tennessee 21-14 in Atlanta, but in the same week, shit got weird. Number 9 Oklahoma upset number 1 Missouri in the Big 12 title game. Number 2 West Virginia, number 3 Ohio State, number 4 Georgia, number 5 Kansas did not play in a conference title game. Number 6 Virginia Tech won the ACC title game 30-16 over number 12 Boston College. So, if you're still following me here, Ohio State bumped up to number 1 as the Big Ten champion even with no title game. Sure, fine by me. LSU then jumped over co-conference champion West Virginia, who had lost to Pitt in their final regular season game, idle Georgia, Kansas, who had lost to Missouri in the final regular season game, and then jumped to Virginia Tech, who probably could have snuck into the championship game had they not lost the head-to-head with LSU back in week 2. So by some stroke of pure good fortune, LSU made it in to take on number 1 Ohio State and handed them a 38-24 loss. Another 100% legit title. 2019. Do I even really need to tell you how this is going to go? This is considered one of the greatest teams in college football history, especially on the offensive side with Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, Joe Burrow, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, and so on. This team put up 40-plus points in 12 games, 50-plus points in 7 games, and 60-plus in 3 games. I grant you the defense did give up a lot at times. In the regular season, they had notable wins over number 9 Texas 45-38, number 7 Florida 42-28, number 9 Auburn 23-20, number 3 Alabama 46-41, and number 4 Georgia 37-10 in the SEC title game. In the college football playoffs, the now Heisman winner Joe Burrow led the Tigers to a 63-28 win over number 4 Oklahoma in the semifinals and a 42-25 win over number 3 Clemson in the national title game. It doesn't get much more 100% legit than this. Lately in this series, I've been ending with my thoughts on if I think the team in question will be adding to the trophy case anytime soon, like within the next 5 to 10 years. LSU is a tough call. It feels like an easy yes, but it's not that definitive with some deeper thought. How Lane Kiffin will do is anyone's guess. He built Ole Miss up fantastically. But are we really going to forget Tennessee and USC? I like to think he's evolved and grown a little in current times though, but who knows. LSU always recruits well, and that should continue under him. Hear me out before you attack me. Coach O was, realistically, not that good.
But fuck you! Go Tigers!
A generational team just kind of fell into his lap, and he handled it well, like almost any coach could have. That brings me to my next point. The most recent championship team was not built to last. It kind of just fell together in a perfect storm and was a flash in the pan. Since that season, LSU followed it with a 5-5 record in 2020 and had a losing record in 2021. The team has since started winning again, but has had no realistic shot at winning the SEC or making it back to the playoffs. The recruits are going to come. I lean towards Kiffin doing pretty good. I even lean towards LSU making it back to the playoffs, especially if we expand to 16 at some point. As for winning it all in the next 5 to 10 years, in my opinion, I'm going to say I don't see it happening. Within the next 20, sure, I could definitely see that, and I would almost guarantee it. But yeah, overall, respect to LSU for claiming only 100% legit titles. I will look over the 4 unclaimed in that upcoming series, but sometimes it's just that easy. Not every team has complicated title histories. And there we go. If you feel I was unfair or missed a piece of info, go ahead and make your case in the comments. And remember, this is just one guy on YouTube who did some research and gave an opinion. I'm sure I won't change any fan base's opinion on the titles they choose to boast about, and certain fan bases have made that pretty clear thus far. This has been College Football Chronicles, and I hope you join me next time.